Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. What we're going to be doing is a look done in Kathleen Lights and ColourPop's So Jaded palette, which is absolutely stunning. And we're going to do this really bold blue eye. The reason that I did this is because I'm collaborating with my friend, Mrs. Melissa. We've been trying to collaborate for, it seems like, ever. And yeah, we just decided to do this. We are going to put on our makeup and we're going to do an eye look. This eye look was inspired by my friend and I'm trying to honor her with it. If you're part of the Fritzy family that doesn't know Melissa, you need to check her out. Melissa is so knowledgeable in products, but she's got a good understanding of what's really good at the drugstore. And also honoring her with that, I'm going to be using all but one drugstore item today. I hope you enjoy this collaboration, and yeah, please go pay her a visit and subscribe. All right, then let's get busy with the story and this makeup look, which is kind of minimal everywhere but here. All right, then what I typically like to do is put down here what it is I'm using or doing so that I don't make this video be 2 hours long and so that I don't lose track of the story, because I can very easily. Knowing how much you guys like stories and knowing how much you guys like reminiscing stories, and the fact that we are at the end of summer, we are headed into nice fall weather, which fall is actually my favorite season as an adult. But when I was a kid, summer, of course. What kid didn't love summer? Summer was definitely my favorite. What Melissa and I are going to be talking about today is some summer memories from when we were a kid. And hopefully that will spark some for you as well. And you can let me know below what those are. Some of your favorite childhood summer memories. I grew up in the suburbs and my parents had moved to this brand new housing development when I was a baby. You know, back behind this housing development was a woods. And it went a couple of miles, maybe, I think, deep. The woods, as we called them, are not there anymore. Condos have been put in. They plowed down that land and it's not there anymore. Boo-hoo. But anyway, so the woods had a creek that I thought was a river. I can remember taking Shy Guy when I met him. For those of you who don't know it, Shy Guy is my husband. And when I met him, I took him back to the river to show him. Because I met him when I was 15. So by then, you know, my childhood in the woods was pretty much over. And I took him back to the river to show him. And it was a creek. But as a young child, I thought it was a river. There was a pond back there. And that was real close to our fort. When you were growing up, didn't you guys like have the run of the neighborhood? You guys would be like out, until 10 o'clock at night even. You came home, my dad would whistle. And, he'd just go out on the front porch and he'd be like, whistle. And it would just echo the whole development. And that meant come home to eat. And if you didn't, you were in big trouble, you better not make him whistle twice. Every kid in the neighborhood knew that was my dad and what it meant. We would be out on our bikes, and this might be a little too light for what I just did. And I'm just taking that right where I have darkness, just right where I have the darkness, which is right there. We had our bicycles, and we were gone from the time we woke up in the morning until, we come home at lunch. I had my watch, and my watch had Cinderella on it, and I knew what time to come home for lunch. We'd come home, we'd eat lunch, we'd go right back out. The street in front of our house, we could literally play in that street all day long, and maybe 2 or 3 cars would come by, and then you just get out of the way for it. End of story. It wasn't a big deal. These kids today, I think even if they were so inclined, they couldn't be out in the street because they would constantly be getting out of the street for a car. We played hopscotch, kickball, Foursquare. You guys play these games too? This is Juno's powder and Juno's cloud sponge. I'm just going to kind of dip in here and get some of this. I love this powder. The women in the neighborhood, you know, they would congregate at the fence and talk, and while we just played, you know, and everybody knew everybody. And so anyway, there was probably, let's see, 7 of us kids. And we hung out every single day and we played in the woods. In the wintertime, you could ice skate on the pond. So yeah, we were kind of still there in the winter, but not as much. We would take sleds in my friends' houses that backed up because it was across the street from where I lived. But my friends' houses, they backed up to the forest, the woods. Their backyards went sloping down toward these woods. So in the wintertime, we could get our sleds and slide down those hills and ice skate on that pond. In the summertime, though, we had our fort and we played back there all summer long. Naturally, we had fun, but our fort, you know, people in the neighborhood, they did things for the kids. This is the Wet n Wild bronzer called Sunset Striptease or something like that. Be careful, it will warm you up. So we had this fort, and it was like there was trees around it that acted as walls. The back wall of our fort was a blackberry bush, and it was just chocked full of blackberries. I mean, I have blackberry bushes in my backyard, but Shy Guy like cut them back too far, and they're not producing right now. They might be dead. They might be blackberry sticks. The blackberries, you know, back then, oh my gosh, right? So we had all these blackberries, and we named that part of the fort the kitchen. And people would give us like boards so we could section off different rooms of our fort. So that was the kitchen. The blackberry section was the kitchen. That makes sense, right? So there was this young couple, and they didn't have any kids, but, you know, they were really generous, and they got all new furniture for their house. Can you believe that? Like, in the whole time that I was growing up, Mom and Dad wouldn't go get all new furniture for the house. I mean, you might get like new living room furniture. And I do that too. We do that, you know. So you might get a new bedroom suite. Okay, and that's your new furniture. You might get like a new couch and chairs, and that's, you know, your new furniture. But they got like all new furniture, and there was really nothing wrong with the furniture they had. So they asked our parents if it was okay if they gave us the furniture that they were, you know, the old furniture. And they said, well, they didn't care. We had to have this understanding, of course, that the furniture belonged to the fort. Excuse me while I do this. Some people don't like to watch people put on lipstick while they're talking, so hang on, let me finish. I think I'll skip lipstick. We'll just use that. And this gloss by Rimmel as well. It's got blue sparkles. It's going to go good with the eye I'm going to do. I'll come back to the furniture in just a second. I want to talk to you about this is the reason this collaboration is called We're So Jaded. We're both going to be using the brand new Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette, and this thing is beautiful. I like that you can bring this all the way back like that. It makes it so much easier. Existing Fritzy family is probably going, she's going to go for them greens. No, I'm not. Today, I'm going to honor my friend Melissa, and I'm going to do the blues, these blues. Melissa, one of my favorite eyes that she does is a blue with dark blue on the outer corner and stuff. So I'm going to do an eye look today that would honor my friend Melissa. I'm going to start off with turquoise, and I'm going to take that into my crease. I'm going to knock some of it off here because these are pretty pigmented and beautiful shadows, but I don't want to get too see how see yeah, so it can, even though I knocked this off, it's still pretty pigmented. While we're here, I wanted to answer this question that someone asked me on the last video. They wanted to know why sometimes I will put on my makeup and then my eyeshadow, and sometimes I put on my eyeshadow and then my makeup, and that's a really good question. I actually used to wonder this myself when I would see people do tutorials, and I just thought it was a matter of preference, and for the most part I think that it is a matter of, my goodness, look at that. For the most part I think it is a matter of preference. But, for example, today I have already worn a couple of these shadows before, so I know that there's not a lot of fallout here. I feel pretty confident that if I go easy, I won't get it all over the makeup I just did. Some shadows, like the day the question came, it was the ABH Jackie Aina palette, and I already knew that I was having problems with fallout, so I didn't want there to already be foundation on my face where I'd have to, pretty much kind of do my foundation over again because I've got fallout everywhere. A lot of ladies will take powder and they'll bake under their eyes to keep that fallout and just brush it away. But if I bake under my eyes at my age, it's a disaster. Isn't this pretty? And a little bit much. We're gonna have to tone this down. To do that, I'm gonna come into my Precious and just see how that's muting that out now? Up here at the top. Back to the fort. So this young couple gave us an entire house full of furniture for our fort, and we definitely had to expand then. We moved our walls to expand more areas in our fort. We would climb up in the trees and do that. We had, our parents would let us use hammers and stuff like that. You might think that this is too much blue, or not, I don't know. For me, I don't worry about it because I know that I wear glasses, and immediately after I finish this look, I'm going to have glasses on. And so my glasses hide a multitude of sins. So even if my eye look is a little more out there, it's going to be okay because of the glasses. So now we had a kitchen table and chairs, and that went in. It was a 4 top, that went into the kitchen, and they even gave us some dishes, not a lot, but a few dishes that we could have back there to eat our blackberries and stuff from. Now I'm going to take aquamarine and I'm going to bring that all over the inner 2/3 of my lid. We had the couch and the chair and the coffee table, and that was the living room. Now they didn't give us a bed, so I guess I stretched that a little bit when I said an entire house. They just gave us the living room and the kitchen furniture, and we had that in our fort, and we would play in there all day long. Now I'm going to get really bold, and I'm going to come into sapphire, which is a really dark blue, and I've seen Melissa do this a lot, and it's really pretty. So I'm going to do my outer V, or my outer eye work, not necessarily a V, but my outer work here with this, and I'm just tapping that down on the outside of my eye. If you're coming here from Melissa's channel, you have seen her do this before, so you know what I'm talking about. And look how much different it looks on me than her. Now also, we had a pool, and so did one of the other kids' family. They had a pool. So, the fort wasn't the only thing we did in the summertime. Oh, and what about this? Do you guys remember Chinese jump rope? The elastics jump ropes, that went around 2 of the people's legs, and they get them all crossed, and you got to jump in between them and stuff. You remember that? Oh, yeah. I was pretty good at that at one time. I was. Or, as aforementioned, we would ride our bikes all over the neighborhood. We would walk to the mall. We would walk up to what they called the Magic Market and get candy. I think on the last video I talked about my mom cleaning the pool. God love her, she didn't even swim in the thing, and she would clean that thing for us. And my brother and I, we were always doing stuff to each other. That is a video in itself, the things that me and my brother did to each other. For example, my dad had built a sun deck that was, above the pool. But we were not allowed to dive from the sun deck into the pool. That was strictly forbidden, not allowed to do it. And so one day I talked my brother into jumping from the roof into the pool. I was like, just get up there and do it. My mom and dad's bedroom was right outside, the pool's here. My mom and dad's bedroom is right there beyond it. And so, it's really, really close to the house. So he can actually do that. He could actually jump from this roof of the house into the pool. And I knew that my mom was in there. I feel like Mary Jane. You ever heard Mary Jane jokes? Anyway, so I knew that my mom was in the bedroom and she was making the bed, changing the sheets actually, I think, in there. And so I told him to do this because, he gets up on top of the roof, and as soon as he says, he goes 1, 2, well, he's going to jump on 3, right? Everybody goes on 3, don't they? So when he said 3, I go, Mom! And she was standing right there by the window, and she probably heard him get on the roof. And so she comes to the window just in time to see him come flying off of the roof into the pool. Mr. Softee. Mr. Softee was something I missed about the summer. I love Mr. Softee. So I don't know if that was a nationwide thing or not. So for the people who might not know what Mr. Softee is, it wasn't just an ice cream truck. You got your ice cream trucks and the ice cream man. Ice cream man! You got your ice cream trucks, but those are just stuff, like bullets. And, the ice cream truck comes and you get a little bit of money from your mom and you go get ice cream. I'm pretty sure that ice cream trucks were something that everybody has in their childhood, right? But I'm not talking about that kind of an ice cream truck. I'm talking about a Mr. Softee truck. And a Mr. Softee truck has soft serve ice cream and sundaes in addition to the stuff that other ice cream trucks have. In fact, one of the things I did to my brother involved in some way a Mr. Softee truck. I don't remember why, but for some reason outside this Mr. Softee truck, I gave him my version of Chocola. Do you remember Chocola? Or is that just, I think Chocola was manufactured here in Indiana, so Chocola might be a Midwest thing. But Chocola, the closest I can get to it, I think, is a drink called Yahoo. Is that it? It's like a chocolate drink. And Chocola came in a bottle, like Pepsi's used to. I had a Chocola bottle. I think what it was maybe he was spending his own money on Mr. Softee. And I conned him out of his ice cream or got him to buy me an ice cream or something by promising him this Chocola, which was just mud and water mixed together. It wasn't Chocola at all. Now, for those of you that are thinking to yourselves, boy, she sure was a bad sister. He got me a couple of times when we were always doing stuff. And not just me, the other kids were always doing stuff too. I know you know. You know what I wanted to do? And I didn't. I wanted to use that glitter, opal. I mean, if we're this out here, we may as well do that. And now I have on mascara. I'm going to have to be really careful. Come right in the middle here. And I'm just going to get a little bit because I already have mascara on. I don't know if you can see the difference between those two on camera or not. I am impressed at the hang-on of this glitter as compared to other brands that I have tried. I'm actually pretty impressed with ColourPop. These shadows just absolutely blow me out of the water. I don't have a lot of ColourPop, but I do have like 2 or 3 palettes, and I am just continually amazed at the cost of ColourPop and what you get. I think I'm going to come into Stoned here and just a little bit underneath my eye. I mean, not a lot. I wonder what look Melissa's doing. It's probably better look than this, for sure. All right then, I'm gonna go do my hair and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I do think I wanna do one more thing. I know I've taken it so far already, but I want to go into diamond. Now diamond, I'm curious what this is going to do on a brush. Diamond feels almost wet. I'm just putting just the tiniest bit of diamond right there in the corner since I've got all this glitter going on. And oh my goodness, that is just so beautiful. Obviously, this is not a go-to Kroger look, but let me show you what I was talking about with the glasses. See, when I put the glasses on, look how much that tones that down. So if you are not part of the Fritzy family, I would love it if you would be. Just hit the subscription button below and then you will be. Hit the bell and maybe it will let you know when I have a video out. If you're Fritzy family who doesn't for some reason know who Mrs. Melissa is, please go check out her channel. Blow her a kiss. Give her a kiss icon and tell her Mary sent you. I'd really appreciate that. And if you are part of the Fritzy family, I hope you always know and remember that you're the best part of the Fritzy family. If you're not having a blessed day, please go out and be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye, and I'm out.
Melissa and I, look, it just goes and squirted right out there all over it. I don't need this much of this, and like it's hard. I have blackberry sticks in my backyard. I have a blueberry stick, a blackberry stick, an apple tree that grows like this. I've got my orchard going. Okay, this is the blush I'm using. Really, Mary, you got it backwards. Ow! I pinched myself. The furniture was the forts. What do you mean? What is this? Air quotes are now like finger walkings. You know, the fort. It belongs to the fort. Whoa, wait, I'm putting lip liner on my eyes. Well, I guess you could, but we won't. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, 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 blend. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, 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 blend. Just make up a song while you do your blending. It won't take long if you do it like this. So I'll be coming over the top and blending with my precious. My precious! My precious! Okay, you probably only got that if you saw Lord of the Rings. But it usually caused, you know, some scud. It caused some scud. What the heck is scud? Do you guys remember Mary Jane jokes? That reminded me of Mary Jane joke. Mary Jane set the house on fire, and it just burnt to the ground. And the neighbors said, "Oh, Mary Jane, when your parents get home, I'm going to tell." Mary Jane just laughed. She knew her parents were in the house. That's a Mary Jane joke.